He went to the Philippines to celebrate 20 years of marriage. But when he landed back in the US, he was taken into custody. No warnings, no answers, just detained. And now, green card holders everywhere are asking, could this happen to me next? This is the true story of a Filipino immigrant caught in the middle of America's latest immigration crackdown. Detained after a simple family trip. Maximo, a lawful permanent resident who immigrated to the US as a child, was returning from the Philippines with his wife and daughter. They had made similar trips before, without incident. Yes, he was occasionally sent to secondary inspection, but he was always allowed back in. But not this time. He was taken into custody by CBP at the airport. And for 4 days, his family had no idea where he was or what was happening. His wife, Crystal, reached out to federal authorities. No answers, no updates, just silence. Until finally, a phone call. Maximo told them he was being transferred to another facility for a hearing, which likely means removal proceedings have started. Why was he detained? The question everyone is asking. Why? Why would a green card holder be detained like this? Let's break it down. According to the Seattle Times, Maximo had a criminal conviction from 2002. At just 19 years old, he pleaded guilty to grand theft and served 7 months in county jail. He completed probation. No further trouble. For over 20 years, he lived a quiet life. But here's the problem. That conviction may now be considered a crime involving moral turpitude, which makes a person inadmissible or even deportable. The Laken Riley Act, passed January 2025. Now let's talk about why this is happening now in 2025. In January 2025, Congress passed the Laken Riley Act. This new law requires mandatory detention of certain non-citizens who were ever arrested or convicted for specific crimes, even old ones. And yes, it includes crimes like theft and even shoplifting. So under this law, Maximo, despite traveling safely in the past, was now automatically flagged and detained. What you need to know about crimes involving moral turpitude. The term sounds complicated, but here's the bottom line. Crimes like grand theft, embezzlement, fraud, and sometimes even shoplifting can be used against green card holders as grounds for inadmissibility or removal. It doesn't matter how long ago the crime occurred, or how minor the punishment seemed at the time. Under the Trump-era enforcement mentality, and with the new 2025 law, the government is digging up old cases, even if you've been a lawful permanent resident for decades. Another similar case, embezzlement. This isn't the only case either. Another Filipino green card holder, also with a decades-old conviction, was detained after returning from the Philippines earlier this year. Her crime? Embezzlement. Just like Maximo's case, she had traveled before without issues. But now, old convictions are getting new scrutiny. What you should do if you're a green card holder with a past record. This is important. If you're a green card holder and you have a past arrest, a conviction even decades ago, or even just charges that were dismissed, you need to take this seriously. Here's what you should do right now. Consult an immigration attorney. Have your criminal history thoroughly reviewed. See if you qualify for naturalization to become a U.S. citizen. Avoid international travel until you get legal advice, because once you're detained at the airport, it may already be too late. But what if you have no criminal record? If you're a lawful green card holder and you've never broken U.S. laws, then you generally shouldn't be worried. This crackdown is focused specifically on criminal convictions, unresolved charges, immigration fraud, and national security flags. But still be informed, because as we've seen, even old, resolved offenses are now being reopened. Why this story matters. We cover stories like these not to scare you, but to inform you. Most people only see the headlines. Green card holder detained. Family trip ends in deportation hearing. But what's really behind the scenes? In Maximo's case, it was grand theft from 2002. In the other case, it was embezzlement. They were both longtime residents, with families, jobs, and decades of life in the US. But in 2025, that no longer guarantees protection. Trump-era enforcement is back and tougher. The Biden-era delays and leniency in immigration enforcement are gone. We are now in a Trump-style enforcement era again, where policies are strict and laws are aggressively implemented. The The Laken Riley Act is just one example of how deep this crackdown is going. And yes, green card holders are not immune. Final thoughts: don't wait until it's too late. If you're a green card holder and you're watching this, don't wait. Talk to a lawyer. Know your risk level. Understand your record. And prepare before traveling abroad. What happened to Maximo could happen to anyone, especially if there's anything in your past that immigration authorities might see as a red flag. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Help us spread the word. Do you know someone with a green card and a minor past conviction? Share this video with them. It might save them from a terrifying situation at the airport. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.